My next guest, obviously, familiar face presenting Good Morning Britain, of course, but as we know, Richard Madeley's also a novelist, and he's here with his latest. It's a thriller. It's called Father's Day, which is very appropriate, as that's looming.
Yes.
I devoured this.
Oh,
it's you know when people go, oh, it's a page-turner? It really is. I had to know what happened, and I thought I knew the twist, Richard, but I got it wrong.
The dummy twist. Yeah.
Yep. It's really good, and it's... I've never known a book to start with such a premise. You know what I mean? It's like, OK, where's this going to go? It's extraordinary. Yeah,
it opens in a real place. It's a real Roman amphitheatre, which is just outside Cirencester in the Cotswolds. It was built by the Romans in about the 1st century, about 2,000 years ago. And I'm amazed that it's not more famous.
Me too.
Because it really is. It is obviously a huge Roman amphitheatre.
It will be now.
Well, it should be, because it is an extraordinary place to visit. It should be as famous as Stonehenge and the Roman baths, but it's not. Anyway, the story opens there at dawn on a kind of a midsummer's day, a June morning. A policeman and a policewoman have been called to the amphitheatre because people living nearby have heard screams and yelps, odd noises coming from it, they think. So the police arrive as it's getting light, and they go in, and it's completely deserted, except there's something in the middle. It's a big wooden X standing upright in the middle of the amphitheatre, and they think, what's that doing there? And they walk towards it, and as they get closer, they realise that there's something on the other side. And the more senior of the two cops says, look, I'll look at this, because he gets a feeling. And he walks round to the other side of the X, and it's a crucifixion. And it's the body of a man. He's upside down. He's very dead. And that's how the Romans used to execute and crucify saints like St. Peter. That was their trusted method. So it's an imperial-style execution in 21st century Britain. What? So the first question that you ask is, who is it?
Yes.
And who did it and why? And it's not a plot spoiler, and this will only take 30 seconds.
No, it's fine, it's good.
It's not a plot spoiler to give that away, because I reveal it, as you know, in the first 2 or 3 chapters. Because it's more like a why done it and will he get away with it done it than it is a who done it. Basically, the guy on the cross is a troll. He's an internet troll. He's a horrible, horrible man. He's in his 40s. He lives with his parents in Bristol. And his thing is to impersonate teenage girls. He calls himself Rosie. And online, he hacks into teen chat rooms, basically to get teenage girls to talk about sex and stuff. And it's horrible. I won't go into here. But he gets his real jollies from trying to get them. He picks the most vulnerable one and sets up a one-to-one with them over months. And he gradually grooms them into self-harming, and if he can, taking their own life. And on this occasion, he's succeeded. And that's why he's been executed. And the man who's done it, title of the book, is the father of the girl who's killed herself, who for 2 years after his beloved 15-year-old daughter, Lucy, took her own life in a bedroom. Nobody knows why. She didn't leave a note. There was no clue as to why she'd done it. And 2 years later, he's in her room one day, just remembering her, and by accident, he discovers her secret laptop. She had a secret laptop that she used purely to communicate with Rosie, who's actually, his name is Arthur Scanlon. And he hacks into it, he manages to do that, and he sees all this traffic going back about a year, and he realises what it was. He knows that this was a catfisher. How can he track him down? Well, that's where the book takes off. How does he track him down? How does he catch him? How does he get him to the amphitheatre? How does he kill him? And crucially, and this is the central question, will he be caught for what he's done? And do we want him to be caught?
Well, this is it, you see.
Do we want him to get away with it?
You know, there's the way that you've done it, there's an awful lot of you that understands completely why he's done this.
Absolutely.
You know, we obviously, at the same time, you're thinking, what a ghastly, horrible thing to do and to live with. But you can understand why he would do that.
Yes.
And also the whole thing about trolling. I mean, this is an extreme case, but this is happening, as you know. I mean, you've covered it many times, you know, when... Even back, you know, when you were doing the show with Judy as well, it wasn't online and as bad.
But it's become so.
Really scary, Richard. It really has.
It is, and I suppose one of the impulses, and I really have to say, I really enjoyed writing this revenge thriller because so many trolls get away with it.
I know
they are so hard to track down. You can track them down, but it's expensive and it's very time-consuming. And also, I mean, look, I'm sure, like you, I am completely against the death penalty. I hope it's never brought back, and I'm sure it never will be. And if there was a vote on it, my ex in the no box would go through the paper. Having said that, we all watch the news sometimes, programmes like this, read the papers, when there's been a particularly horrible crime, sadistic, cruel, utterly selfish, where someone's life has been taken for the pleasure of the killer. And the damage that does on the dead person's family, whether it's a child or whatever, is so horrendous that you find yourself looking at the telly and thinking, you know, hanging's too good for you.
Yeah.
shoot it. Now, you don't mean it,
No.
but it's there in the
Yeah.
gut. And that's what the book tries to plug into, that sense that although in a civilised world these things wouldn't happen, somewhere in our more primitive sort of brain, we want revenge, proper revenge.
Well, it's very, very
eye for an
strong
eye,
emotion.
tooth for a tooth, that kind of thing.
And you, I mean, as, you know, you've got this career as a novelist alongside, obviously, what you do. You know, we see you on JMB, we've seen you with Judy, pioneers of daytime telly, of course. You just seem as enthused, curious, interested as ever you were. You know, you've never lost that. You've never become jaded or kind of, oh, you know, whatever. You're so enthusiastic.
I'm naturally curious as a person. And I think also, I mean, yes, you know, people would define me as a television, that bloke off the telly, a TV presenter. But I don't actually feel like that. I still feel like I was when I started. I'm a reporter. That's basically what I am. And I started on local newspapers and local radio and regional television as a reporter, as a news reporter, for 20 years. And then Judy and I drifted into This Morning and things softened a bit. But here, I'm still a hack. And that's why I love doing GMB. Because that's straight news, you know, and I really enjoy it. And working with a team that produces news and breaking stories and all that. And I've never lost my enthusiasm for that. That's still with me. And I think most journalists are the same, actually.
No, I agree, 100%. We're very lucky in that sense. Now, look, we're going to play a wee game with you this morning. I'm sorry about this. It's called Madeley or Made Up.
Very good.
I'm so sorry.
That's all right.
Right, we've got a few Richard Madeley stories. You have to tell me if they really happened or we've made it up. First up, did you nearly get bitten by a bear on the telly?
Yes, I did. It was Hercules the bear. They told us that he was completely tame. Why we allowed a live grizzly bear into a live studio, I have no idea, but we did. We wouldn't do it today. And I reached out just to kind of, you know, pat him.
How'd you do?
And he went for me.
Oh.
And he took my hand off.
Jeez.
Yeah, Hercules.
So that was actually true.
That's true.
I remember Hercules the bear. Yeah, he went missing up in the Highlands.
Yes, he did. You're right, yeah.
Did you once basically just tell a cabinet minister to sling his hook? He was annoying you, and that was that.
Yeah.
We should do it more often.
It was Gavin Williamson when he was Defence Secretary, and he just wouldn't answer a really simple question about something he'd said a few months before. He kept, you know what they're like. I asked him the question, did you say this and why did you say it? And he said, I want to pay tribute to the national health... No, stop. Please answer the question. It happened 3 times. 3 times he talked about the national health when I was asking him about something totally different. So I just got angry on behalf of the viewers, actually.
Yes, of course, it's not
because
you.
it's insulting to the viewers to think they don't spot what they're
Totally.
doing. So I just said, all right, Mr Williamson, interview terminated because you won't answer the question.
Goodbye.
Thank you, goodbye. And Charlotte Hawkins, who was my co-host, we went for a break. She looked at me and she said, do you know what you just done? I said, what? And she said, you just slung a serving cabinet minister off air. I said, God, I have, haven't I?
Do you know, I think we
shocked.
have to do it more often. I really do. But the thing is, have you got a qualification in gymnastics?
No.
But we know somebody who has, though, don't we?
Yeah. It's Father's Day. When a father goes to his 18th family.
That was heart attack time.
I didn't know he was going to do that. Harry Hill, sit down.
They told me to do it, Richard.
I've told me.
I'm so sorry.
Well, look, Richard's book, Father's Day, it's out now.
Book.
It's out now. Can I just say, there is a lot of light in there as well.
There is.
And
It's
humour,
funny.
And there's a romance as well.
There is, and I can see it on the telly.
Oh, can you? Oh, that'd be great.
Roger Allam is the inspector. That's who I think in my head.
It's DCI, so Thursday, isn't it?
Get it
my
sorted.
chief shot, yeah.
Get it sorted, Richard Madeley.